Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich buses today. A single £1.20, a return only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town. Well, what on earth happened there? Wow, where on earth did that come from? I left you both at 1-0. You returned at 4-0, 3 points, a clean sheet, heading back to East Anglia with 3 points firmly tucked in their back pocket. Alex Wilson, Stephen Thomson, the wonderful Talking Town live community. I will come to you first, Alex. Alex, the new boy on the block. What do you make of that, son?
Wow, I bet the goat is buzzing down in Pompey right now. I bet he's loving it.
I bet he is.
That was what we needed. I think the clean sheet is just as important as the 4 goals. You know, I think that will breed confidence in the back. I asked to see more from Aluko second half. He did it.
Yeah, you saw that. Yeah, absolutely.
So for me, I think the unsung hero of the game actually might be George Edmondson.
Okay.
Because I've always said right back from the summer, we need a vocal leader at the back.
Yeah.
And he seems to be fulfilling that role. Like you saw him on Saturday, he slated. You know, he was shouting at Haladsky for you know when he messed up. So I think for me, you know, George Edmondson was the unsung hero of that game. He seems to be that one marking the defence, which I think is really, really important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, great points there. I'm reading through the live chat. The live chat is buzzing, as you would imagine, Stephen Thomson. Simon Wall, I always thought we'd win 4-0. I think he says tongue-in-cheek. Jason Clayton, now we can just let Cook get on with it. The game really wanted to win against Salty Pompey. And it did say we'd win. James Warren Elmer, Chequebook FC 4, Portsmouth, nil. Lee Brown, great win. Credit where credit's due. Absolutely, Lee. You'll never hear anything else from myself. Eddie Spaghetti should have officially turned the corner now. Onwards and upwards, Chris Boyd. Hope the 1,260 enjoy their way home. Fair play. Michael Yorson, second half was easier to watch. Professional performance at last. Infamous Gregory Evans showed how much we missed him Saturday. Steve, what did you make of that wonderful second half performance? And overall, 90.
Yeah, that was lovely, wasn't it? The first 45 was a little bit hit and miss. Like I say, no team was really dominating it. They must have heard. They must have been watching this at half time because we came out and absolutely smashed it. That was awesome. 2 quick goals. Danasian was an absolute. I tweeted, said he was an absolute machine tonight. He was so good. Like you said, Alex Aluko upped his game.
Absolutely.
Edmondson, absolute ninja at the back. That was awesome. So good.
We were so good all over the pitch. Mike Brown, feet on the ground, people. Professional win and well-deserved based on more on what we did in the second half. Great team performance. Credit where credit's due. Absolutely. It's important to say, you know, not to get too high when you win. The same way you say don't get too low when you lose. But it's a really good away performance, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah, it is. But I agree with the fishermen there 110%. You know, it was an amazing performance. It was what we needed. But it's only a good performance if we now follow that up at Fleetwood on Saturday. If we go and lose, if we lose at home to Fleetwood, then this is for nothing. You know, so let's just keep our feet on the ground with this one. Let's not get overly excited. It's about following this up and going on a run and, you know, getting those points and getting up that league. So this, for me, really good performance, really pleased, but it's almost as important to go and follow that up on Saturday.
Absolutely. This is a stat for you, Steve, before I hand it over to the fans. This is your fans react show, not just a show on YouTube that has the three of us talking on it. We give it over to you. Live link is in the chat. I'll post it again. Come on, have your say, regardless of what you feel of today's game. Up, down, left, right, whatever you think about your football team. Have your say on your platform, the Fans React show. Steve, this is a stat for you before I bring in Stephen Parry. Ipswich Town win 4-0 on the road. Only the second time this century that has occurred.
Bloody hell, that's a stat, isn't it?
Oh, isn't it, Josh?
I like that. And there was
Thank you.
Nice. It was the stat I liked about. So when we beat Doncaster 6-0, the last time we did that was against Doncaster when we beat them 6-0, which is brilliant. But yeah, that's a good stat. I like that one.
It's a really good stat, yeah. And
I'd say it's hard to believe, but with how it's been the past few years, it's not actually.
And we've turned the Portsmouth hoodoo around. Obviously, last 5 against them was all big L's. That can now finally be turned to a big green W for the return fixture. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing what the fans are going to say tonight. I really am. The live chat is absolutely popping off. Safety guy, catch 22. The more Bond scores, the more chance of going generally. Great night. That is true. And the key thing, if we didn't sit back, we just carried on attacking. Jason, not for nothing. It was Pompey. They've been giving me shit us at the start of the season. Sorry. Lewis Robertson. What are you talking about, Alex? We're heading for Europe, Stephen Parry.
Well, I don't think we're getting that far yet. But to be honest, I think Alex had a point. You know, we had this with Rotherham, didn't we? And then we came crashing down to earth. You know what I mean? So we can learn from that now. We've had that one, and we didn't react very well. So we know what we mustn't do. Now we know what we can do something different to what we did then. And I'm sorry, that was phenomenal. First half we were ordinary. You know, you couldn't split them with a fag paper between first half. It was just one bit of quality from Bond, and that was it. I'll agree with Alex. I think Edmondson was bloody immense. He won everything. He was chasing everything. He was having a go at everyone. I think Morsey was immense. He was breaking up play. He was putting little passes through. And the two people I wanted to have a big game was Morsey and Walton. And I think Walton kept his concentration. Unlike Haladke, you know, there was a couple of saves right at the end that he had to make. Haladke might have just lost his concentration and they would have gone in. You know, he didn't. He was focused. 90 minutes, he was focused. And when he didn't have a lot to do, but when he had to do it, he did it. And we were clinical. Now, if we can play like this, even just 50% like this, the playoffs, even top 2, is not out of the question yet. You know, let's remember, Wigan lost. You know, so that's 3 points close to Wigan. You know, these things happen. If we can start getting a consistent run, we win at Fleetwood. That's 7 points in 3 games. It's what we all asked for. And everyone's going, we're back on track. After that, I don't see any reason why we can't win against Fleetwood at our pitch at all. Because that was just dominating.
I'll just put the league table on the screen as you've brought it up. You know, obviously that now leaves us in 13th place there. What is that right? Let me just see if that's.
That's updated.
That is not updated. You are correct. We are much higher than that.
Sheffield Wednesday drew, so we've definitely gone above them.
We absolutely have. That's why I paused. I was like, I'm sure I've worked it out.
So we went above them.
I will post it in a second when it's updated. But you say second is not out of reach. Well, Plymouth, I mean, technically is a team we're looking to catch, right? Because they've played 14, whereas Sunderland have played 12. They're on 29 points. Alex top 2. Is it really out of reach?
I'm going to be. It's a hard question. It really is. In the sense of, I think we need to see more consistency. Once we go on that run and get those points, I would say we're looking more towards playoffs at the minute. If we can be that team that's now go on that run and get that consistency, then yeah. But I don't think we've seen enough consistency from this side yet to say that top 2 is doable. So I'm going to say, ask me again in January is what I'm going to say.
I'm led to believe this is a live table. So it is an up-to-date table, Steve. We're 13, 17 points.
Yeah.
MK Don's in 6th on 22. So, you talk about that's 12 points, Stephen Parry, from Plymouth. We've got to play Plymouth, obviously. What do you think?
Plymouth's top, aren't they? Plus the fact we've got to play them twice. You know, the way I look at it is like, you know, you look at the game Plymouth played tonight. They played, my God, they were playing in a monsoon. You know,
True.
there was more puddles on the pitch than there was at Rivington. It was awful. It was like, you know, the ball was stopping every 3 seconds. The last goal, I think it stopped about 7 times, and a different player picked it up so they could score. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, that wasn't abandoned is beyond me. But, you know, I don't focus about what everybody else does. We've got to play everybody else twice. So if we do well against the, you know, what have we said for the last few seasons? Yeah, we can't beat these big sides. We can't beat these top sides. We played Sheffield Wednesday. We played Portsmouth. We haven't been beat yet. You know, we played Lincoln. We haven't been beat yet. You know, we've lost.
£5 super chat, Matthew, Bottrell and Cook. We trust. I had some killing instinct tonight. We're only going to get better. Keep the faith, Matthew. Thank you. Stephen, you say big teams. Portsmouth might be a big team, but they're on a shite run. Let's be fair to them. I mean, you know, 17th. They've only won 4 all year, same as us. But
let's be fair. What picture have you been putting up for the last 2 or 3 weeks? Yeah, 5 losses against Portsmouth.
Well, that ain't my fault.
Yeah, but come on. No, let's be fair. You can't put that up and then say this is not a good result. You know, the top and bottom of it is we've not beat these for 9 years. No, we've beaten them. You know, these are a big team in this league. You know, whether they've got Bob inside, which they have because they were bloody awful, is irrelevant. You've got to beat what's in front of you. You know, I would turn around and say Morecambe were worse than them, but we didn't beat them. That's been our issue. We've took the smaller teams for granted and we're going at the big teams. We need to start focusing on that. I hope we do, because I can see when we played Lincoln, we were the better side. We played Sheffield Wednesday, we were the better side. We played Portsmouth tonight, we were a better side. I still think we were a better side against MK Dons. You know, the top and bottom of it is we've had a lot of good results against some good sides. We've let ourselves down against the poor sides, and that's where we need to like learn lessons. I think we will. And when it comes down to it, when we come to the Sunderlands, and we've got the Wigans to play, I think we can get points, and I think we can get up the table. I'm not saying top 2's guaranteed. Playoffs is probably more likely, but the top and bottom of it is, like Paul Cook said, there's a hell of a long way to go, and nothing's won in October.
Okay. Beep, as always, a real pleasure. Look after yourself. Who's your man of the match, Beep?
I'll go with Edmondson because it was such a massive improvement on what he'd done so far.
Okay, Edmondson, 2 votes so far tonight. Steve, appreciate you, buddy. Look after yourself. Dino, Portsmouth were dire because we made them look dire. 85th minute, we were still closing them down. Blood Eagle, top 2. Jesus, not again. Eddie, correct QPR, won't want Bond back. It's a similar situation when we had Kiefer Moore banging the goals in League One, but we had Garn Waghorn up front. He is great, and he will be staying. James B, watching that tonight compared to last season, what a change. Getting better. Neil Perks definitely can make the playoffs. Andrew White, we have to treat every team as a big team and get the results we need. We'll go to Cruncher, who was there. Cruncher, there he is.
Hey, here we go, guys.
There he is as the goal.
There he is.
Go on, the boys. Get it.
Well done, lads. 4-0, hundreds of miles travelled, but how quickly will you fly down the M25, etc.?
Now, where's the cookouters now? Where's the cookouters now, boys?
Hang on, you can't be saying.
My Lambert. Shh.
You can't be saying feet on the. You can't be saying.
Hey!
Ipswich Town, £5. Thank you very much, my brother. Afternoon, lads. Tonight was up giving me a little bit of faith. Total was a massive plus tonight. Solid, no BS defending. Top work. I'll unmute the Cruncher now. I've read that super chat out. Crunch, you can't be saying to me on Saturday, feet on the ground, 1 game at a time, 24-hour period, and then be up over the stars.
Like. We've been pumping and rolled them over 4-0, Martin. This is the first win down here since 2012.
It's mad.
Come on, we got to get excited.
The
goat is ready. The goat is ready to do the rating, didn't you, Goat? Yes, mate. Yeah.
Look at that.
I'm very ecstatic tonight. One of the best footballing performances I've seen this season by an absolute streak.
What made it so good for you, Colin? You know, what do you think really set it
mate,
apart?
under 60 seconds. Under 60 seconds, you got to keep it. Under 60 seconds. Under 60 seconds, he's going to struggle, isn't you? Well, yeah, probably.
You think?
That keeper had a good game, didn't he, Martin? Bazuma.
Oh. Will Norris.
He's had a stinker. I think we've frozen, haven't we?
Will Norris, eat your heart out.
Frozen.
I'll come back to you, Cruncher. I'll bring in the Fisherman. Fisherman top 2 is on, says Stephen Parry.
I'm going to be lying. I'm struggling to hear you. I don't know what's going on with my connection, but yeah, I can't hear you guys very well. But yeah, look, that was a great team performance, wasn't it? It was really good. First half was a bit huff and puff and sort of kind of figuring each other out, weren't they? And we got that lucky, I call it a lucky goal, and that's, still got to put it in the back of the net. The second half was a different thing altogether, wasn't it? We just, it was like we just said, okay, right, we were first gear in the first half. Let's stick it in the second and third gear and let's go at them. And I missed Bond's goal, but not Bond's goal, Burns' goal. But that was. I felt second half. It was the first time I felt. Look, I mean, Donny was poor team, but tonight I felt that, we kind of made a bit of a statement. But we've got to go on and beat Fleetwood now. It's no good winning this game and then going and getting a draw.
Oh, we've also lost the fisherman.
Oh,
look at that.
People
In the people's Wi-Fi tonight, Steve. I mean, honestly, get a decent Wi-Fi connection. You know what I mean? Who would have a bad Wi-Fi? Hey, I mean,
right?
Who would have a bad Wi-Fi? Ben Moore, see you boys Saturday for some late birthday celebrations. Ben, have a great birthday tomorrow. Cookie is certainly delivered. Ronnie, say this all the time. We need to give ourselves more credit. Wouldn't have took the game to them like that in the past. Quality to see our supporters in high spirits, and rightly so. Get in. Duncan, have a cracking day, mate. What an early birthday present. Alex. The fisherman there, the weatherman, was clearly very happy with tonight's proceedings. Top two, a little bit far-fetched, do you feel, after this one performance? Do you want to see a more consistent run before you start?
I think
top two?
We've got the quality, definitely, but it's about putting it together. And this season so far, we haven't put it together. We'll go and beat Donny 6-0. We'll lose 2-1 to Accrington. We'll go and beat Pompey 4-0, and then potentially slip up. So for me, it's all about consistency, because consistency is what gets you. What gets you places. And for me, I want to see top two. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not saying I don't want to see top two, but I want to see consistency first. That's why I said give it till Christmas. I think we're starting to see those. I don't want to use the beloved green shoots phrase, but I saw Chaplin's interview today, and he said, look, they're starting to click. I would second that based on what I've seen today. So let's just focus on one. All we can do is play well in our games and win our games. Let's almost not worry what anyone else is doing. Let's focus on us. Let's focus on what we do.
Absolutely. Steve, the fisherman himself said there, we have to now go and beat Fleetwood. Otherwise, tonight is pointless. Would you subscribe to that yourself?
Yeah, for sure. How many times have we had that in the past where we go and absolutely dominate a team and then get turned over the following week or the following game? A top two could still potentially be possible, but I want to see a good run. We need to go and beat Fleetwood on Saturday. And then we need to get a couple more wins and get a good run going under our belt.
Absolutely. But
just get some more consistency now.
You say more consistency, but last five hasn't been too bad. Only one defeat, one draw, 3 wins. That's not the worst thing in the world, But considering the way we started the season, Alex, obviously still buying a little bit of sort of catch up, particularly when you see Plymouth and Sunderland just literally romping away.
Yeah, because what concerns me is that if you look, we didn't beat Cheltenham, we didn't beat Cambridge, we didn't beat Morecambe, and what concerns me is the teams that are around us and going for the promotion they could potentially go to those places and get the 3 points that they need. So for me, we are playing catch up, and I really, really want us to do well this year and get top two, but I just think we need to sort of, I think what's going to be key for me is what we do against Plymouth and Wickham. What we do against those teams that are up that top end at the moment. That's gonna, if we go there and get a result, then why not? But like I say, what the fisherman said, what I've said, what we've all said tonight, this win is only as good as the next game that comes behind it.
Absolutely, and for those that are new to Talking Town, new to our content, we welcome you all as always. But you perhaps haven't seen me in this situation before. If you can hear anything going on, it's because I'm back downstairs, and this one here is fast asleep. passed out from the excitement of a Paul Cook 4-0, and he's snoring. So if you can't hear anything, if you are brand new to Talking Town, you can hear those sort of noises. It is young Tobias snoring. Steve is used to those noises because he's been away here from the start, but we've got lots of new viewers. I'll bring the cruncher back, hopefully a bit more of a stable Wi-Fi. Then we've got...
Colin's got the rolls out. We've got crisps all round, and we had a, fucking brilliant day. Great. That's what you get when you keep going away, boys. There you go. I'll put you on. I'm going to drive. I'll put you onto the go. There you go. There you go, Colin.
Go for it, Colin.
Martin, how are you? Do you want me to do the ratings?
No, not yet. But you tell us how tonight went from your perspective. Why did it go so well?
The football was absolutely superb. I try not to go too much over the top here, but it was. They made them look like school children. Were Portsmouth bad on the night? Yes, they were, but they were made to look bad. Ipswich outplayed them all over the pitch. Fantastic performance. I can't honestly think of anybody at all in that squad who actually played tonight who let the town down, because nobody let the town down. That they proved to me today, Martin, exactly what I've been saying all along. Once this snowball gets going, and once we played do you remember the other night when I said when we play the bigger sides?
Absolutely.
When big clubs come about, big players turn up. And every one of those boys, I pleaded to them the other day, if you remember, to turn up for those people who are going down there tonight. And they did, didn't they, Rich? Every one of them 100%. Turned up, 100%. And the football was, it was just like, it was so pleasing on the eye, Martin. I mean, they were singing, the town fans were singing sexy football tonight. And it actually was, Martin. It was sexy football. It was so good. I haven't seen football like that by an Ipswich team for a long time. I can't even remember when. But I'll tell you what, that was, you know, any one of the 1,400 or so who went there tonight would say the same thing. That was superb. And Paul Cook deserves a lot of praise tonight because, yes, he's gone back to a club he knows. He knows the size of the pitch, and Connor Chaplin knows the club, and this, that, and the other. People can say those things, and they would be right. But Paul does deserve a lot of praise today. I'm not just saying that. He does. He's stuck at it. He's continued to say once we get going, and you know, once we I don't want to use that word, but once we link up, if you like, completely. Because let's face it, we've had a lot of injuries. We've had, the odd player out for this, that, and the other, and it has been difficult for Paul, to be perfectly honest with you. But tonight, he's got to take the applause today, because that was a masterful. First and foremost, that was a masterful selection tonight. Carl Edwards, I thought, on the time he was on, was absolutely electric.
He's good, isn't he? He's good.
Carl Edwards was fantastic tonight, Martin, and I don't think there's many better players in that division, to be honest. I mean, he is top rate in that league, and good, championship player, really.
Colin, a quick question for you from Jason Clayton. So, who won the midfield battle, Morsey or Morrell?
No contest. Well, Lee, no, I've got to say, all right.
Player of the year.
Oh, Martin, let me stop you a sec.
Well, Raheem Harper.
Morsey and Martin, let me answer the question. Morsey and Evans. Evans, bless his heart. I hope everything's all right with his wife. I hope the baby's fine if he's going to watch this. He's obviously had things in his head the last couple of 3 weeks. We all, any of us have been there. We know that. But well played, Lee Evans. He was fantastic tonight, Martin. He really was. But no, we won the midfield battle hands down. We won it all over the pitch, Martin, from start to finish.
Yeah, it's one of those nights. It all goes so well for you. Bon obviously set us off on our way. How was the goal from your perspective, being in the ground?
Well, It was one. Well, we was obviously at the other end for I'm trying to rate a roll there. we was obviously at the other end. That happened up the frat, and then I mean, Bond being Bond closed the goalkeeper down, and it wasn't easy actually because he got near the byline, and then he had to go around the goalkeeper again. But he did it all superbly and did smash home. Fantastic, fantastic.
He had a stinker Bazuma mind, didn't he?
Oh, Bazuma was awful.
I'm pretty pleased he chose Portsmouth over Ipswich, put it that way.
100%.
Absolutely. Legacy base. JD was again solid and consistent. Man of the match, 2 assists. More than Dazelle has had in 2 years. Go. Before I let you go, who was your man of the match?
I think I've got to go for Lee Evans personally. Lee Evans.
Wonderful. Go. Safe journey home. Get those player ratings to me. Look after yourself. That's the GOAT, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, Alex. So we've got the fisherman there saying Dazelle. JD's got more assists than Dazelle has in 2 years, Lee Anderson. What are you saying about that, son?
What's he looking in the past? What's he looking in the past for? Dazelle will be playing in the Premier League next year, and he knows it. So, but let's put Dazelle. He's gone. Let's finish. I mean, what a performance tonight. In all seriousness, and just Mike, I know you're listening. You're probably going to blame me again with your carp fishing. So, if you need your testing what's in your lake, just send me and Mike round, and we'll have a food fish out for you. Show you how to do it. But back to the football.
Back to the football. What did you make of tonight then, Lee? Talk us through it from your perspective on the ground floor.
No, I'm sitting down today. I'm on the chair.
Oh, well done, Lee. Today. I'm really proud of you, mate.
I know. I thought I'd sit on the chair. Do you know what? The first half, it was almost there, wasn't it? But it was really scrappy, and it was a nothing first half, really. And but what was pleasing about the first half was we always looked solid. It was a solid away performance first half. The conditions weren't great. We were knocking it along when we could. We had a few interchanges, but we didn't really click. It didn't really click into place. And then, Bond does what he does. He closes the goalkeeper down, scores a Marcus Stewart-esque goal where he gets in, goes around the goalkeeper one, or pulls it back and fires it into the top corner. Yeah. A great goal. But the second half, I really thought we would struggle. But I tell you what, Portsmouth reminded me of when I used to run my boys' team on a Sunday, and you think, do you want to play with a win first half, or do you want to play with a win second half? It was like a bunch of under 13s that couldn't kick the ball against the wind. That's what Portsmouth seemed like. And they just couldn't get out of their half, could they? And we won everything in midfield. And from that, we kept the ball up their end and scored three really good goals second half. I mean, the goalkeeper should have saved Avaluko's, but the Burns goal was good and Chaplin's goal was good. And I think Chaplin was probably my man of the match, I think. I thought he linked up really well, looked lively, kept it all going. So I thought he had a great game, but you couldn't fault anybody tonight. They're all 8s, aren't they? I don't think there's anybody that had a poor game at all. So I would give everybody 8. And
not a single man had a poor game. You're right, absolutely.
And I thought, I know Edwards is a baller. He's an absolutely fantastic player, but he hasn't contributed any assists yet, has he, or any goals? And I thought that wasn't his type of game tonight. A big blowy pitch, it did seem to bobble a bit. So credit to him for keep going, but I think there's still much more to come from him, obviously. And to leave Selena on the bench, good move by Cook. But I listened to the chat about top 2. That's got to be some serious run to get top 2. You've got to think we're 11 points behind Sunderland, and they've got a game in hand. The games are coming thick and fast. So let's just take one game at a time, I say, and let's just see how we go and go from there. But yeah, great stuff. Really, really enjoyed the second half. It's great, isn't it, when you've got 10 minutes to go and you're not going to get beat? Because as a town fan, you probably think, we're 2-0 up, we've seen this out. But to sit there with 10 minutes to go, knowing you're not going to get beat, it's quite nice. Doesn't happen very often for us.
No, it doesn't. I tweeted out a 3-0, 4 points from 6, and someone said it's not over yet. And I was like, surely Town can't capitulate from 3-0 up. But if anyone can, Town can. Lee, there's so many people we'll pick out, and we'll sort of pull it apart as we go through the show. And anyone else watching wants to have their say, you're more than welcome to. Link is being dropped again in about 5 seconds' time. But Lee, international break, we normally don't play on those weekends. Has it done us the world of good for once to play? And I mean that from the sense of Chaplin. Has Paul Cook stumbled on something here simply because he had no option but to find someone to replace Selena, who was on international duty? Because Chaplin in this number 10 role, he's coming alive, I feel. How do you see it?
I think I was wanting to come on the show last night and just to go back to the previous, just because this is about Cook and his decisions. We had two out of the 3 games we won. We won at Lincoln, and when we beat Shrewsbury, how many centre backs do we have on the pitch if you include Donatian? 4. Yeah, and everyone was talking about when the game's not going well, bringing another centre back on. Those were enforced changes. So I tend to agree that Selena goes off on international duty and Chaplin takes his chance. What we've got to remember is we've got such an in-depth squad. I mean, the players they were bringing on compared to what was sitting on our bench and probably still hasn't travelled is quite frightening. And this now, as long as we get that part right, everyone's going to play their part. I can't see... I mean, Fraser getting injured, probably injured, isn't he? Because he had an ice pack on his knee, I think, when he came off.
Not on the bench,
Fraser would start. You know what I think about Fraser? Fraser would have probably started again, perhaps. But that's someone else's opportunity. And that wealth of talent we have should see us through the winter months. We should pick up more points because of our squad. So, the problem is with Paul Cook is that if he makes changes and we do well, then he's a hero. If he makes changes and they don't do well, then we all sit here in hindsight and we miss the hindsight.
Yeah.
Or Mrs. Hindsight and say, he should have done this, he should have done that. So, we just have to just see how he goes. But he hasn't changed his shape. He brought the same forwards on that he did last time. You can do that when you're 3-0 up. It would have been interesting if we were 2-0 up or 2-1, what he would have done. And they're the games where he's got to make the difference. Because he can put any 11 out now, I think, and play 70 minutes. It's those 20 minutes when we're not doing well, when we're struggling, and we need to do something slightly different and see and try. They're the games where we're going to pick the extra points up for me.
Absolutely.
But it's good to see Walton back. I mean, I rate Headlackey, but there's just no presence for him in the box, is there? And I think Walton just looks like he's just got that little bit more presence, a little bit more assured, perhaps. Even though we did have a terrible kick early on. But yeah, so
absolutely.
Keep level-headed.
13
One game
Moolah.
at a time.
20,000 plus Saturday. Let's blow the bloody roof off, sing our hearts out and get it right behind our awesome club. Come on, JC. Stumbled. That's a bit harsh, Guv. Give Cook some credit. However you get there, as long as you get there, do you know what I mean? And I just wonder, without the international break, JC, you might be right, but maybe would he have played Chaplin there instead of Selena? I don't know, because they had been playing there. I'm not playing too badly, but Chaplin, as Legacy Bates says here, because he called him another Nolan. But he continues to play like he did tonight. I'll hold my hand up and say I got it wrong. Ronnie, respect needs to be thrown on Janoy Donatian, probably our most consistently good player. Stephen, Janoy, how good has he been? And does Kane Vincent Young ever see the first team ever again if Donatian is fit? Because honestly, jokes aside, KVY would be lucky to get in the 18.
Yeah.
He's so good, Janoy.
JD's been amazing, and there was a time not so long ago where we were all craving to get KVY back and get Donatian out and have it roles reversed. But Donatian, every game more or less, he has just been an absolute beast. And again tonight, he helped Toto when Toto lost the ball fairly early on. He was right where he needed to be. He made some good runs as well, a couple of assists. And although it is a massive shame because KVY, certainly when he joined us, was one hell of a player. We all couldn't wait to see him back. What we have seen of him this year hasn't been brilliant. So I'll be really surprised if KVY will start over Donatian, certainly anytime soon.
I'll answer that for you now, Steve. And Alex, maybe I'll ask you to come on here. He won't start over KVY unless the Nation's got a knock. Because, do you know what I asked you? And I joked, Alex, I call him Lazarus because his town career looked dead and it looked buried. But the guy has come from absolutely nowhere.
He absolutely has. Absolutely
he's
has.
suddenly one of our best players.
You know, and what he seems to have brought, what he seems to have improved on in recent games is that forward part of being a right back. You know, getting forward, getting assists. Because obviously, when he first started, I said it several times. You know, you wouldn't want to see him beyond the halfway line, but he just really seems to have taken to that role. And you know, if he's got that kind of what you got to think about is having not just that mentality to get back from the wilderness where he was. You know, that can be like something to push the rest of the squad on. And like, look, I did it. You know, I'm back. You know, I've proved it can be done. And for me, that's 2 assists for. You know, and he's not put a foot wrong since he's filled that role. So for me, unless he has a knock or is suspended, he's our first choice right back right now. And the thing is, we said at the start of the year, didn't we? He might play 10, 15 games and we'll be able to do it. But you can see him. That's his position to lose now, and I wouldn't be fussed if he played, you know, every league game between now and the end of the season.
Absolutely,
I've knocked him in the past, haven't I? I mean,
we all have
before
we all have
about him and KVY, but I mean, I think the difference in Cook's formation is that we've needed a steady. We've had 2 fullbacks before JD came in that both bombed on, and we were just conceding goals, weren't we, at the start of the season? So I think what JD has done, he's a little bit more measured. So he picks his moments when to go forward, but he knows his limitations. He knows what he's good at, and he sticks to what he's good at. As well, I think KVY has just tried when he's played. He's just tried to be too clever with the ball sometimes and lost the ball in areas that he shouldn't have done. But I think him and Burns are decent on the right because Burns is the natural winger, isn't he? He's the one that bombs forward. So JD hasn't got to go past him. On the other side, when you've got Harper and when you've got Penny and Fraser, Penny's the one who's got the pace, who overlaps. So it sort of roles reversed, isn't it? You've got a steady right back, but you've got a bombing on left back. You've got a steady left-sided player and a right side that bombs on. And I think that's given us a bit of a variety at the back, as you know, as well as going forward from both sides. But all credit to him. But he's a 7 out of 10 every week. But I think that'll be one of the positions that will strengthen right back.
Possibly.
I do.
Go on,
I do.
I think that's the good thing with JD. You know that you're going to get that solid sort of 7, 8 out of 10 maybe every week. He's not like an overly spectacular player like we've seen from KVY in the past, but he's going to be solid, and you know he's going to do his job well. And chances are he won't put a foot wrong, so you know you're going to get something dependable.
Absolutely, yeah. And 7 out of 10, the J-Tab factor, as I call it, infamous Greggy. JD in the last third, so much more composed than tonight, cultured. Yes, his ball in for Chaplin's goal was just a lovely sort of ball you see from a right back on Sky, and you think, why can't my fullbacks put balls into the box like that? And tonight we actually saw us do a ball like that, and it's really just it makes the striker's life so much more easier. Alex, Gav asked in the chat, is Walton the number 1 goalkeeper now? Do you think he's number 1 goalkeeper, or do you think Haladki's still got a claim to be made?
Yeah, I think so. I think me and Steve were talking about it in the pre-game show. You know, I think Walton is, because he is one of those like Cook's lieutenant, shall we say? He is in that, you know, in the Lee Evans mould, in the Sam Morsey mould. It's someone that, you know, that Paul Cook trusts. Yeah. So I think for me, then Walton is number 1 just purely on the fact that Paul Cook played with him before.
Absolutely. Rob Holmes, scary thing is, think of the players we still have to come back to the squad. Other teams should be worried. Kev, you're all being a bit harsh on JD, referring getting forward. Safety Guy 20. JD, the most consistent thing about our team. Monty says the 30th, which is Plymouth, is the real test. Yeah, but let's get to Plymouth. Let's get to Plymouth with results in the bag against Fleetwood. Against Crumbs, we're away. Is it Fleetwood then Plymouth? I think it is, isn't it? They're the next 2.
I think it's Fleetwood, Plymouth, then Wickham midweek.
Absolutely, yeah. So let's get to Plymouth with another 3 points in the bank and see where we go. John Warren, I thought it was improving before Edmondson came in. Before I ask you both, or all three of you, sorry, for your man of the match and some team ratings, we'll try and see if we can rival the GOAT and see how far away we are in terms of our ratings. I want to discuss Toto and Ciala very quickly. Came back into the side. You two, Steve and Neil, Alex. Neil said Neil. Sorry, Alex. You two discussed it pre-show, pre-game. In regards to him coming back in, Steve, did he impress you or do everything that you thought Toto could do tonight? How did you see his performance?
He impressed me. He had a better second half than the first half. The first half, I thought something bad was going to come. I just thought it would be typically Toto. But no, he was better in the second half. He got, won some good headers, a couple of clearances. He got to the ball well. So I think it was better than what I expected from him. He looked solid. Yeah, and I think I'd rather pick home over someone like Wolfenden.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Alex, well, no, I like Wolfie, to be fair. Alex, Lewis Robertson, Alex, Toto and Ciala, best comeback since Harold Bishop in Neighbours.
I think for me, what I've been impressed with Toto since he's sort of come back, and I'm not just talking about, tonight, I'm talking about generally, is that sort of thing, trying to overplay seems to be eradicating that from his game, in the sense that if he needs to just put the ball out, he would put the ball out rather than trying to risk playing and then losing the ball. So for me, and I think that's what we need. We need that sort of defender who, like, literally, if it does need to just be hoofed up the pitch or just out, then he'll do that. But some of the balls that he was playing, out from the back as well, were absolutely. I think he passed it out from the back to one side, and so he's got a ball in him as well. So for me, again, he's come in tonight, done well.
Mm-hmm.
It's now Cameron Burgess' job to dislodge him, because for me, you don't change that back four on Saturday.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, really spot on. You got a clean sheet there, and you've looked solid all game. Mr. Ipswich Town, welcome to the show. How did you see it today, my man?
It was a fantastic performance. It brought a little bit of faith back in me again. It did.
A little bit of faith. I like it.
Yeah, the first half was a bit scrappy, as testing each other out. But second half we were brilliant. I was very delighted with the performance.
Who stood out for you?
Janoi Damasian, I think he was brilliant again today. He's been without a doubt our best player this season. I know Bon has been scoring the goals, but Damasian he's been rocking the backline for us. He has.
Yeah, he really has. And obviously, Axel was saying you don't change this back four now. This back four is the back four for Saturday and possibly further afield. Do you agree with Alex there that this is the back four definitely for Fleetwood, but possibly for the next month or the season?
Oh, I wouldn't change it. No, I wouldn't change it. Even if Coulson comes back and Burgess is doing well in training, Toto has come back in. He was solid. He's a no-nonsense defender. Gets rid of it, sticks his head in where it hurts. I wouldn't change the back four. No, I wouldn't change the goalkeeper either. No, I wouldn't change even Walton either. No, I keep him as number one. He's only been given one chance prior to this game. It was an off day for us, so I definitely keep the back five for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously Chaplin is playing behind the striker, which is Bon. How are you seeing those two sort of in their partnership coming along now after a few games?
I've been really impressed with Chaplin. I was saying to myself earlier on watching the match, I was like, he's like the Hazard of League One. He's there and he's dictating the play up front a little bit, and his goal was a brilliant finish. It was just one touch, bang, that was it, goal. Very good player, and just the fact that we have Selena on the bench to come off the bench, it just shows how the squad in depth. It's good. It's good all around.
It's a little bit embarrassing, isn't it, Steve? When you see in a good way, I mean, when you see Burst and Selena coming on in the dying embers of the game, you're winning 4-0, and he's replacing someone such as you got Chaplin and Burns and Bon and Co. It's an embarrassment of riches, right?
It is. Yeah. I mean, with that sort of thing, yeah, you'd thought when we signed Bursan, and obviously when we had him on loan previously, he was a guaranteed starter virtually. Always on the team sheet. So you thought coming into this, especially League One, he'd be one of the first names on the sheet, and he's on the bench until very late in the game when we've already won it. It's incredible. I would not have thought we'd be in that position.
Absolutely. Right. Man of the match then, gentlemen. Who we've got? Mr. Ipswich Town, who have you got for your man of the match, sir?
Janai Danasian.
Janoi Danasian with a rating of, let's see if you can get it close to the GOATs. What would you give Janoi Danasian tonight?
8. I'll give him 8 out of 10. 8
Okay.
out of 10, yeah.
Alex, man of the match, please, sir.
George Edmondson, 8.
8 out of 10 for George. Do you think George was that good, or do you think Chote coming back, Alex, really helped out the fridge?
I think, you know, he was that good. You know, he didn't put a foot wrong. You can see he's being vocal. You know, and he's the one who's putting players in the right place, which is something I've called out. You know, that we've needed several times when I've been on this pod. So, you know, for me, he's the one that can then. We've always called out that Toto needs possibly that player beside him to sort of help him through the game. I think George Edmondson can do that.
Okay, Lee, man of the match and rating.
Yeah, I mean, I said Chaplin earlier on, and I think so, but I think they're nearly all 8s, aren't they? But just going back to the point Alex made about Edmondson, remember he was playing on the left side of the defence tonight, and he was pinging 40, 50-yard balls into space with his left foot. That's his opposite foot, and he looked great, and he helped Toto out a lot because he stopped passing to him around the back and kept pumping it up the line. So that almost took him out the firing line, didn't it, as well? So, but you can't fault. I don't think you can fault any of them.
You can't. No, you can't.
That's really
4-0.
This is the hardest. I would say this is the hardest man of the match to pick out of all season, because you know, and I would say maybe the person that found it the toughest would have been Edwards, and people have rated, you know, and he's probably a 7. So but Chapman for his goal and his all-round performance of finding the pockets and linking the play up to keep us in possession and up the pitch. So Chapman for me.
I think if anything starts at less than 7, I'll be surprised. Stephen, your man of the match, please, sir.
It's tricky. I'm gonna have. It's a toss-up between Edmondson and Chaplin. I think I'll just give it to Chaplin. His play was fantastic. Definitely an 8. Absolutely.
Out of 10?
Oh, for sure, 8.
Okay, we've got Chris Boyd, man of the match, Paul Cook. Went back to Fratton Park and got a lot and took down the Pompey press and wound up Cowley. Legacy, the whole team on 8, apart from JD, who's given a 9. Gavin Law, 8s all round. Benjamin, the milk tray man, flying to Turkey tomorrow. What way to start my holiday? Milk tray. Stephen Parry, to be fair, Cookie's probably has made the calls. If he has to blame when the players don't work, he must be credited when they do. Gav, sure, we could have had Selena Burns, KBY, Pigott Nord, Carroll, Harper, Burgess, Wolverhampton, and Wednesday night would start another team in League One. Absolutely. Mr. Ipswich Town, Lee Anderson, thank you both for dropping by. Appreciate
guys.
You both saying hi, and for your super chat earlier, Mr. Ipswich Town. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Look after yourself, guys. We've got Dog joining us now. I'm not sure if Dog's on the way back from Fratton Park or not, but welcome. How are you?
Hi, guys. Yes, we're on the way back from Fratton Park. Just on the A3 now. Got a car full of jocks, and yeah, what a game. Really enjoyed that. Second half, brilliant. Good as I've seen us play. First half, yeah, it was scrappy, wasn't it? Didn't really look great, nor did Portsmouth, to be fair. And I was just praying we were going to come out as we did, and we did. And it's 4-0 away from home. Brilliant.
I said on the half-time show, Dog, that I wanted this team now to go out, assert some dominance, put themselves into the driving position and win the game comfortably. Well, they've done that. 4-0 is comfortable. They asserted dominance. From being there, just how easy was it from a Town perspective?
Yeah, I think that second half, we made it look so easy. We were knocking the ball about. Some of the interchanges, Sonny Aluko, Connor Chaplin, Edwards, just superb triangles. Simple football, but we weren't doing that in the first half. We haven't done it much all season, and it just filled me with confidence that second half that we can play like that, and also that Cook's actually got a bit of fucking bite in the dressing room. He's actually said something, and it's actually carried through onto the pitch.
Absolutely, and obviously you mentioned Aluko there, Aluko and Danasian, the most unlikeliest, brilliant right-sided combination we've had in a long time, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's strange to see, isn't it? I mean, I thought Sonny was fucking washed up after seeing him against Newport. I thought, get him in the bin. But to be fair, he's come back and proven us all wrong, hasn't he? And I love to see it. You know, I want to see him on the team on Saturday as well. I'm enjoying watching him play. Janoy, you know what you're getting. You know, we call him No Joy Janoy. No joy down his right side, but also no fucking joy going forward because, you know, he doesn't give a lot going forward. Today, he puts a cross in and we score a goal. I mean, eating my words. But it's great to see. I can't complain.
No joy, Janoy. And I tell you what, who also doesn't like or doesn't get much joy, and that's goalkeepers from Macaulay Bond, because another one for the catalogue of how not to be a goalkeeper in the summer of 2022.
Yeah, and he rows them, doesn't he? He gets into them. You know, they don't like him, do they? I like he gets a little shoulder afterwards. You know, all of that nasty stuff. And he didn't stop working today. I was a bit worried he was going to pick up a hammy or a groin knock or something. Just the way, you know, he was going full pelt all evening. But it's a credit to him. I mean, he is a standout player, isn't he, for us? You know, I think he is that different level in terms of the work rate and just how much he puts himself about, and then obviously we see him, he just seems to score every game, doesn't he?
Absolutely. We are losing the line a little bit, so we'll let you go. Safe travels, and thanks for appearing. Look after yourself, Dog. And as someone just said, Mike D, Dog didn't lose his lead this week. Well done, Dog. We didn't lose the lead this week. We held on to it. What an evening. Monty asks, words for Cook. A word for Mr. Cook tonight. Alex Wilson, a word for Mr. Cook tonight, please.
Well done. Well done for this was probably an important game for us that we needed. You proved that you've got it. You proved that you can do that. And not only was it an important game for the point tonight, but can you imagine what it would have been like for the next 3 days if we'd gone to Portsmouth and lost, considering how much salt they've been throwing about since the start of the year. So literally, that was it. It was important for that reason as well. So, well done, Mr. Cook. Well done for sticking to what you believe and getting us there. But let's just, please, just keep it going. Just one game at a time. Let's not get too high. Let's not get too low. Let's just keep that consistency and get up that league.
Okay, Steve.
Yeah, very similar. Well done. Keep it up. We've got the formula.
Got the formula. Lee Bayliss asked the fisherman if Cook got it right tonight. Michael Yorson, PC, back this up with a good one on the weekend, please. And Safety Guy for Luton on Saturday. The Lynch mob will be out for PC again. The thing is, Safety Mob, you're a little bit correct there, but it's this consistency that we're missing. It's the consistency we definitely need, because otherwise we'll continuously just do this. And this league is so poor, you can do this all season long and still finish, as we did towards the back end of last year, 5 points outside the playoffs. We have to now go beat Fleetwood and then to go to Plymouth, a hard ground, a place that's got a team that's rocking and rolling. And you might not win at Plymouth, but at least go there with some consistency and a win. But my final word tonight, as we close off the show, this is Alex Wilson, the newbie. That is Stephen Thomson, the aficionado. I'm the Guv. This is FCA final presentation of Talking Town. My final word for Mr. Paul Cook is... don't forget, this is Ipswich buses as well. Go contactless with all Ipswich bus routes. My word for Cook is more of the same, please, Bob.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without